Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be chatting to you about my epilepsy tips. So as many know, I have complex partial seizures. You might be here because you watched my 2015 video where I talk about my diagnosis, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my epilepsy tips. My epilepsy's changed, if I'm honest. I deal with complex partial seizures, simple partial seizures, nocturnal seizures, and absences. So I have a bit of a combination. They aren't the same, and sometimes people have that happen with epilepsy. It changes. Depends on the medication you're taking, depends on lifestyle changes, and how you look after yourself. So I really wanted to talk to you about some of the things that I do to help manage my epilepsy. But I must say, before I go into this, everybody is different. So it is about listening to your body, working out what works for you. Not everyone's the same. Okay, first things first. It feels like an obvious one, but it's something that I hold my hands up to. I sometimes used to happen to me. Okay, so reminding yourself to take your medication on time. Well, actually, taking your medication and taking it on time. So one thing I do is I use an app called MediSafe, which is essentially an alarm and will remind you to take your medication, and essentially it will keep going off and reminding you until you hit that you've taken it. Have I already taken it? Or you'll forget to take it, which has happened to me, or you'll take it 2 hours later, or you'll take it an hour before, and then it's all over the place, which isn't good for you. Reminding yourself to take your medication sounds daft, but download something called MediSafe. There's many out there, but I prefer that one, and it just keeps you on track and ensures that you're taking your medication and taking it on time. Next thing is spreading your medication out. So I have a specific space in my kitchen where medication is, but I'm not always in the kitchen. I can be out and about and on the move. What do you do when your medication's in one place and you're all over the place? So I make sure I have spare medication in common places I'll go to. So for example, there is medication in the car. For example, if I'm out and about and I've not got anything with me, I know that there is some in that car that I can take if I need to. We could be travelling, stuck in traffic, not be back in time for my MediSafe alarm going off. What do? I've got it in the car. My handbag, I've got some of my parents, and it's just about being mindful of, am I going to have all my medication with me? So that's really important. I actually also have a medication purse, like a little purse that I take with me, and that's the one that goes into my handbag, and I just remind myself to move that with whichever bag I'm using. So it's important that I keep it in one space, so keeping it in a little purse and then taking it with you, and then having spaces just in case you forget to take that purse with you is really important. Okay, so I guess these are kind of maybe more lifestyle, but they're things that I do which really help me. If I have a calm mind, and so my mental health is in a good place, I tend to find that my epilepsy is less intense or less frequent. We had a big stress time recently, and unfortunately I had a nocturnal seizure, and I know for a fact that that was why that happened. So trying to manage stress, anxiety and sleep problems are really important. I mean, they're important for everyday life, but as someone who deals with epilepsy, that is really important. So let's start with mindfulness. So mindfulness has been something that I've really focused on in the last year, I'd say. So for example, I now do yoga, which takes my mind off worry, because I'm so focused in the postures, in the poses, and in the class that I'm doing, that I have no time to think about anything else. I'm so absorbed in those poses and the class and how great it feels that I haven't really got time to think about anything else. I also practice meditation, which has been a bit of a lesson as someone who's got a very active mind. Found it quite difficult and frustrating to start with, but I have to say, if you stick at it, it does get easier and it becomes more natural. If you're looking to get into that sort of thing, there are many apps that you can use. There's Headspace, and there's also an app called Calm, and I use the Calm app, and it does guided meditation on there, which is fantastic and will help get you to a point where you can do it all by yourself. And that really grounds you and really gives you the tools to push any intrusive, negative, stressful thoughts that pop into your mind. It teaches you how to just let them flow through you and not give any time of day. And it's been fantastic for me, actually. And I'll say it's been a huge change and really helped in so many ways in my life, not just with epilepsy, but really big help. As I worry quite a lot. I worry about a lot of daft things, and worry doesn't help anybody. It's only going to cause more stress, which, as you know, will cause seizures for some people. And that's not what we want. So I definitely say apps like Calm and doing yoga or stretching or Tai Chi, anything like that is really good for the body and the mind. With reference to the body, there's also obviously more physical fitness. I mean, yoga is a great option. And as I've said before, you need to do what works for you. Listen to your body, work out what is good for you. So I do triathlons, as many people know. That might not work for some people. That's fine. Not everyone functions in the same way or wants to even. So if you wanted to, you could do like indoor cycling. You could do a aerobics class. You could go for nice long walks, whatever it is. You do need to get that blood pumping and to get yourself moving, and it releases endorphins and they make you happy. So it's kind of a win-win. Next thing I found to really focus on is sleep. Now, when I've not had sleep, I have found it has caused more seizures. I don't know, my mind's too active. I don't know if that's perhaps causing the nocturnal seizures. So I really focus on sleep and trying to get a routine in place. When I was younger, I used to have quite bad insomnia without realising what insomnia was. So I think I was a teenager, early teenager, so maybe 13, and I used to lie awake for hours. It was ridiculous. I would go to bed really early, trying to get some sleep in before everybody else, and praying I didn't wake up, and I'd wake up and I'd be awake for hours, and that will cause so much stress. The frustrating thing of, I need to sleep, I've got school in the morning, blah blah blah, can't get sorted, can't get sleep. It would just be a vicious little cycle, and well, that doesn't help anyone. On and off in my adult life I've had it, whether it's been through stressful times, whatever it's been. But it is so important to get a good night's sleep, especially if you have epilepsy, because that lack of sleep can cause seizures. So my routine is perhaps a bit overkill for some people, but it might help you. I do quite a bit of aromatherapy, and it's also really common knowledge anyway. Lavender is a soothing and calming fragrance. So it's a calming scent, and you can do all sorts with it. So a lot of people dab it on their pillow before bed, diffuser, which I also do, so that's what I'm saying is overkill, because I do it everywhere. And I have it around the house as well, just to generally calm the atmosphere that I'm in. I'll go up to bed maybe about an hour before bed and start the process of unwinding. I sometimes put calming music on, and I use the Calm app for that. So they've got soundscapes, they've got like just specific sleep music. I really enjoy listening to ocean waves, actually, and I find that sound of the tide coming in and out is almost like how we should be breathing. And if you ever get a chance, listen to ocean waves, sit there and breathe in and breathe out in time with the ocean waves, and that will really slow down your breathing and you'll instantly feel calm. It's crazy, but it really works. And hold on to your tummy with deep tummy breaths rather than short chest breaths, and you'll feel a massive difference. So I do a bit of breathing properly before bed, and that instantly unwinds me. From there, I will either listen to a story, and they have them on on the Calm app as well. I sound like I'm an advocate for the Calm app, but honestly, it's changed my life. These do bedtime stories, and it's really calming. It's just really calming. So there's like the Velveteen Rabbit, and there's a Stephen Fry does a talk as well about lavender fields in France, and it's so soothing just to start the process of unwinding. And I know that isn't always doable for everybody, but it is important to get some sort of routine in place. I don't advise being on your phone at this point, and I don't advise watching movies or TV in the bedroom before bed, because that's not going to help you relax the mind. You're going to feel when you go to bed, I mean, everyone's had it before, where you'd be like watching, I don't know, Mission Impossible. Don't know why that popped into my head. I think I saw it. Thought I saw Tom Cruise on the TV earlier. But there'd be like a Mission Impossible thing, and you'll be thinking that you're doing like leaping from building to building in your sleep or something, and it's too active. And sometimes just you can't quiet the mind, and that means that you're not necessarily going to have a good night's sleep. So sleep is very, very important. Engaging with the community. Some people say that, you know, knowing more about epilepsy can sometimes make you panic and cause more stress, to cause more seizures, but I actually find that as long as you're not constantly asking for clarity on your condition and making sure that you're not going mad with it, because I mean, we all know that everyone feels a little bit like, did that happen? I think it is important to have a community. Nobody else understands us like we do. Nobody, you know, you feel like you're going mad and you can't remember it very well. So it is important to know people that are going through the same thing, and you feel supported in that community. Finally, this is my final tip, and it is something I used to do when I was first diagnosed with epilepsy to keep track of it, but it's having a seizure diary. Now, I think I got a bit blasé over the years when it started to calm down, and I was like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm gonna get my driving license back, and then bam, and that didn't happen, and I'd have breakthrough seizures. But then they got more frequent. I realised I needed to track how my seizures were changing, and so because they got more frequent, I've actually had to increase my dose, which I do think if your epilepsy changes, you know, like I say, I was having complex partial seizures, and then they progress, and then there's different things that happen. I need to jot them down, because if you're anything like me, you forget what the devil happened, and you're like, did that happen? Did I imagine it? Did I dream it? Especially with nocturnal ones, but you know, you can check out my other video about that. But you do feel like you're going mad, and your memory just goes. So it's so important to keep the seizure diary. If you can get a small notepad or something like that, pop it in the purse that you take your medication with you. Pop a little pen in there. If it's to happen, jot it down. Then any feelings, like sometimes we get feelings rather than seizures. So I think it is important to put those down in it as well. Anything, we've got to monitor this. That way, when we see our neurologist or epilepsy nurse, whatever you have, then you can communicate that with them, and they're the experts in this, and they will be able to help you or guide you. But the main thing I've found over the years is keeping a calm mind and not getting worked up. I know I'm very aware that's easier said than done, and I'm constantly learning every single day. But these are some of the things that have helped me with a calm mind, and in turn, I've actually found that they've sort of almost made it less intense when a seizure's happened, and I'm sort of like, okay, it's happening, stop resisting it, let it go over you, let it pass through you, and then move on. Whereas before I'd be like, no, it's happening, I can't let this happen, oh no, panic, and by doing that, well, you know as well as me, that makes it worse. Thank you so much for leaving this as a suggestion for a video. I really appreciate it. So there is your epilepsy tips. Let me know in the comments box what your tips are. Is there something I should be trying? And if you've got any suggestions for videos, doesn't even need to be about epilepsy. Do you want something else? I really welcome you to tell me, keep watching all my other videos, keep subscribing if you're jumping on this video because you want to have epilepsy tips. There's your epilepsy tips. But make sure you subscribe because I can do lots more on this channel. Thanks again, guys. Take care.